Well, it's official. Disney Marvel has finally hit rock bottom. How, you may ask? I give you The Marvels. The Marvels is the MCU's latest attempt to make Captain Marvel actually likable. The movie teams her up with Monica Rambeau and Miss Marvel to save the universe from Dar-Ben, a Kree warrior attempting to save her world by stealing resources from other planets. This is one of the worst superhero movies of all time. Disney should be embarrassed that they even released this in theaters. This is a movie that has a $270 million budget but has TV movie level effects and worse acting than on the CW. Sometimes it felt like I was watching a bad episode of the Power Rangers. The CGI in the movie is laughably bad. There are so many shots of Tiana Paris where a character is supposed to be floating in space, but it just looks like she's hanging on wires in her room with the lights off. Same for scenes when she and Captain Marvel are supposed to be flying. It's like the studio isn't even trying anymore. It really is laughable. Let's talk about the cast. Nearly everyone is awful in this. I think it's time for Disney Marvel to admit that Brie Larson as Carol Danvers is a failed experiment. This is her second movie in a lead role, and once again she gives an abysmal performance. She spends the entire movie blank-faced, like she's a robot copying what it thinks emotions are. It's terrible. If they want to keep using Captain Marvel in these movies, then they should recast the actress, because Brie Larson just isn't cutting it. As a character, Carol Danvers has absolutely no depth. She starred in 2 movies now, and yet who is Carol Danvers? You don't know anything about her because the movies don't tell you anything about her. And the little that we do know isn't good. Carol Danvers has done some horrible things. Off-screen, after the first movie, she destroyed the superior intelligence on Hala, the Kree homeworld, which caused the planet's resources to be destroyed, which is why Dar-Ben is going from planet to planet trying to steal resources. When Dar-Ben goes to steal water and air from 2 planets, both times Carol abandons people on the planet to die. The second planet even has someone who's married to Carol. Yet Brie Larson gives the most disinterested performance when her character is confronted with all this. After the divisive response of the first Captain Marvel movie, it seemed like Marvel realized that if they were going to make a sequel, then the character was going to need help. I'm not even sure why Monica Rambeau is even in the movie. She literally serves no purpose in the film. It felt like maybe the studio wanted there to be conflict between Monica and Carol over their past, but they do almost nothing with it in the movie. It really felt like she was only in the movie because the filmmakers wanted someone to sacrifice themselves at the end, but not die. The only bright spot in this movie is Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel. Unlike the other leads, she actually delivers a good performance, and her character's enthusiasm feels genuine. Out of the trio, she's the one who's freaking out and pointing out how crazy everything is. She's fun to watch for most of the movie, but even then the filmmakers couldn't help but make her annoying at some parts. Nick Fury continues his descent into becoming the lamest character in the MCU.
Black girl magic!
Instead of getting involved in the action, he just spends the entire movie looking after Kamala's annoying family and chasing cats around. He's a babysitter. It's a paycheck job for Samuel L. Jackson, and he's starting to feel like he's wearing out his welcome in the MCU. The movie is loaded with bad writing. The villain Dar-Ben, she wants to restore Hala from the barren wasteland it is, so she decides to steal the air, water, and sun from other planets. Why not just take it all from one place? Even by just taking one resource, the movie tells us that it essentially dooms the planet. She can open up portals. Why doesn't she just teleport the people of her homeworld to a planet that's livable? Her character never acknowledges any of this. She's dumb so the story can happen. For some reason, someone came up with the idea to make one of the planets a singing planet. It's the second one that Dar-Ben attacks. You find out that the only way for people to communicate on the planet is by singing. Singing. Carol is familiar with the planet, and it turns out she's actually married to the prince due to some kind of misunderstanding. So when the heroes arrive, you get these extended song and dance sequences on the planet, and Carol has to sing and dance with the prince to try and warn him. But immediately afterwards, she can talk to him normally and he can understand her. Why? Oh, Carol just tells us he's bilingual. Then why did we have to sit through all these singing and dancing scenes, if they're all meaningless? Bad writing. One of the biggest parts of the movie is that Carol, Monica, and Kamala can switch locations every time one of them uses their powers. Why? Because at the beginning of the movie, Monica touched a portal that Dar-Ben opened. That's it, apparently. There is no consistency with it, though. At first they switch anytime they use their powers, but by the end they can regularly use their powers and be fine, and they only switch places when the story needs them to. At the end, after Dar-Ben has been defeated, Carol goes back to Hala and flies into the sun and powers it back up, so it can generate heat for the planet again. Captain Marvel is apparently that powerful, but she only thought to do it after Monica suggested she do so. It's been over 30 years since she destroyed that planet, and she never once thought to do anything to try and save that Kree planet. I don't know how Marvel expected us to like Captain Marvel after this movie. That's not the final ending, though. It wouldn't be Marvel if they didn't threaten us with what's coming next. The final scene has Kamala Khan meeting Kate Bishop and telling her she wants to form a team of young superheroes. And the post-credit scene shows that after Monica closed the portal, she wakes up in an alternate reality and meets a variant of her mother, Maria. But her mother isn't alone, we see. She's actually with the X-Men's very own Beast, played by Kelsey Grammer. You find out that now Monica's inside of the X-Men mansion. Of course, Beast is created through CGI instead of practical effects and looks horrible because that's just standard Marvel at this point. I guess they expected these scenes to make us excited. This movie is a disaster from beginning to end. Ever since the end of Avengers Endgame, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been on a fast decline in quality. With the beginning of Phase 4 in 2021, there have been a total of 20 different Marvel movies and shows released. And nearly all of them suck, too. What used to be a fun and cohesive universe now feels overloaded and disjointed. It's begun to feel like homework to be an MCU fan. Some people may want to blame the dreaded superhero fatigue, but that's all nonsense. The real problem is bad movie fatigue. More Marvel products are bad than good these days, and fans are finally starting to wise up to the crappy schlock that Marvel turns out. On the other hand, when the studio actually makes a good film, the fans will try and force to support that movie. Spider-Man No Way Home made almost $2 billion. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was released during the summer and made over $800 million. Sony's Across the Spider-Verse made almost $700 million. The fans will turn up if something's actually good, but the problem is nothing is good lately. It'll be interesting to see if the MCU is able to reverse course and save itself. The brand has been heavily damaged in the last 2 years and is beginning to feel like a sinking ship. They've come up with different excuses before for the bad performance of their recent movies and shows, but there's no spinning this one. The Marvels is a disaster. It's a horrible movie. Don't bother seeing it. Maybe we'll get lucky and Captain America 4 will actually be good. Damn it! Okay, Deadpool 3's gotta be good, right? Right?
That girl magic!